Welcome, everybody, to Mid-Level Media. I am Ken here tonight for a special live ranking of my top 10 TV shows of 2020. But I'm not going to do it alone. I got a special guest tonight, and I'm going to go ahead and bring her in. That's right, her. I'm going to bring her in. It's Michelle. That's my wife. She's here tonight. What better person to help me rank my favorite TV shows of 2020 than the person that I watch all the TV with, Michelle. So how you doing tonight, Michelle? Are you happy to be here on my YouTube channel finally?
I am thrilled.
So this isn't the first time you've been on this channel. We actually did a review of a show that might come up tonight, but the show You on Netflix all the way back in January of 2020. So yeah, we're gonna kind of wing this episode. We didn't do a lot of preparing. We do have two children that are upstairs that may come running down at any moment's notice and might steal my wife away for a second, but hopefully she'll be back if that happens. But yeah, don't know if there's any sound issues, anything like that. If there is, let us know. She's in the other room, I'm in this room, but we're very in close proximity with each other, so there might be an echo. I just want to make sure that there's not. We do have somebody in here tonight. Oscar Tercero is here. Welcome, Oscar. I work with with Oscar. He says,
Oscar.
"Hi, Midnight Michelle." Who is Midnight Michelle? Is that your name for my wife, Oscar? We're gonna have to talk about this at work.
I like it. I like
it. So anyway, yeah. There was a lot of TV that we watched in 2020. But before I get into it, let me tell everybody that if you're watching right now and you haven't liked, commented, or subscribed, or commented in the chat, go ahead and do that right now. I would definitely appreciate it. But yeah, so there's a lot of TV that came out in 2020. Of course, there was the big quarantine that happened right at the beginning of 2020 that kind of set us all on our couches to do nothing but watch TV, endless amounts of TV. And we did that. And we watched 14 shows together all the way through. And you had a little rule for me because there was a couple of shows that I watched by myself that probably would have been in my top 10. You said that they couldn't be in my top 10 unless you had watched them with me because you wanted to make sure that we had watched every show together. So
that's right.
Yeah, let's get into it. What was do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first? We've got two separate top 10 lists right now. So you've got yours, I've got mine. We'll kind of go back and forth. We'll compare and contrast and see just which one which show landed where on what person's list. So if you want to go first, you can, but I can go first as well.
Well, I was going to write them down on my little whiteboard here, but won't it be like backwards for them?
Do you know how to write? Do you know how to write backwards?
I do not know how to do that, so I think I'm just gonna say what mine is.
It might work. It might not be backwards. Will it be
backwards? Let's
try it out. Let's test
one word.
It's probably going to be backwards, but maybe not. Nope, that's right. That's right. It's not backwards.
Do you know what I'm gonna put?
No. Are you doing yours right now? Is it to the number 10?
Yeah, this is my number 10, baby. Let's see.
What is it? And also, before you write that, before you showed up, we don't know each other's lists.
That's right.
We don't know each other's lists. We know the 14 shows, obviously, we watched them, but we don't know who put what in what order.
All right. So are you ready? This is my number 10.
The Haunting of Bly Manor. That was a good show that is probably going to be featured just a little bit higher on my list. Surprisingly,
really?
Yes. I know I told you that there were some shows that I thought you would be surprised that didn't end up on my list. Yeah, so we could talk about Haunting of Bly Manor a little bit. Why do you hate the show so much to put it at number 10 for one?
Okay, well, it's not that I hate the show. Although I will say that I enjoyed the first season much, much more than the second season. I mean, the people out there aren't seeing our choices, like the ones I had to pick from. So I'm just saying there were better choices, and this is where I came up with it. I felt like the second season was kind of it was kind of bland. It wasn't until like the end, I feel like maybe, it's been a little bit since we watched it, but I don't know. All in all, I didn't love it.
Yeah.
And I'm really surprised that you had it higher.
Well, we talked about this before, and all the shows that we watched, I liked. There wasn't one show that I didn't like or enjoy on some level. But I don't think that anything we watched besides like maybe 2 or 3, I would consider to be great TV shows. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff that I liked, a lot of stuff that I really liked, and a couple of shows that I loved. And that's just where I think Bly Manor for me started off a little weak and really turned itself around in the last like few episodes. So I did end up enjoying that show quite a bit, even though it's a drastic step down from the Haunting of Hill House, in my opinion.
I was going to ask.
It's a much better show.
Yeah. Yeah, I was going to ask if you liked it better than or, worse than the other.
Yeah. I think it was it's an interesting show. I think it was I don't think it was as flashy as Hill House. It didn't have a lot of those bigger, like impactful moments. It didn't have the really deep like family drama, and the dynamic between the families wasn't as strong as in Hill House, in my opinion. But I thought it told a really good story about the main girl. And then just all the people that were living with her. I was intrigued from episode to episode, and I thought it wrapped everything up pretty nicely.
All right, well, let's have it. What's your number 10?
So you ready for my number 10? You're going to love my number 10.
Oh, God, I'm scared.
You're going to absolutely love it. And I'm hoping that when I put this up, it's not my number 1. Hold on a second.
Oh, God. Should I cover my eyes?
Well, everybody else is going to see my number 1.
Don't look. Let them make sure it's right.
Okay, I was right. All right, okay. You can look. So I got my number 10 was the first show that we watched at the beginning of the quarantine, and that's the Tiger King. And this was just too batshit crazy to not include on the list. I just couldn't leave it off, even though there was a couple of shows that were probably better shows I know that were better shows. But this was like an event show. This was a show that I hadn't heard this kind of buzz for since, I don't know, Game of Thrones. It was like that level. Okay, literally everybody in the entire world was talking about this show.
Let me interrupt you though. It was my idea to watch this show.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And we watched it right when it came out, before the buzz really started to spread, because this show came out, we watched it. It literally week after week after week, it just kept building and building, and more people, like I would run into at work and be like, "Haven't you watched Tiger King? Tiger King?" Everybody was talking about this show. It's like, yeah, I watched it like 3 weeks ago. I'm kind of over that. I'm not. I get it. Carol Baskins, Tiger. What was his name? Tiger Joe or whatever. Is his name Joe? Is that his name? I don't. Yeah, all of these, they feel like literally at the beginning of the quarantine last year. That feels like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, but Tiger King is. Oh, I lost you. I kicked you out. How did I kick you out? Oh, there you go.
He's trying to get rid of me after he invited me on a show.
Look, I don't know what I'm doing here. I think we've all established that. All right, so Tiger King was my number 10.
Okay, fair enough.
I'm going to ask you real quick. Did Tiger King make your list at all? Did Tiger King make your list at all? You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
Should I answer? I don't know.
You don't have to answer.
I don't think I'm going to answer. No.
We do have a few people in the chat I want to call out real quick. Daniel Otero is in there. He said, "What's good, Ken?" What is up, Daniel? We got Troy Anderson here. He said Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
That's what it was. There you go. Thank you, Troy. Patrick Coran is here. Hello. What are we talking about? We're talking about the top 10 TV shows of 2020. Patrick, we have just finished and wrapped up number 10 with yours was Haunting of Bly Manor and mine was Tiger King. So we'll try to go through the next 4. And then after that, if anybody has anything else to say in the chat, we'll go to the chat and then we'll wrap up with the last 5. So what was your number 9?
Okay. Give me 1 second. I don't have the fancy graphics like you do.
Yeah. You wanted to write on the whiteboard. We talked about this. You said, give me the whiteboard.
All right. Are you ready?
Okay. Yes.
Well, you know what? I think that you should go first this time.
That's fine.
All right. You go first.
I'll go first. You want to see my number 9? I forgot what it is.
All right. Let's
we might have the same number 9. Wouldn't that be cool?
I don't think we will.
What's the likelihood that we have one that's in line?
Ooh.
I think our number 1 might be in line.
I don't know. You're number 10, really.
Oh, did you look?
Oh, what the hell? Wow.
I told you it was gonna.
How do you accidentally go from 10 to 1? Really?
I don't know.
Wow. Can we?
Did anybody see that? We're erasing that. Strike that from the record.
Can you come erase my memory, please?
That was a no-brainer, though. That was a no-brainer.
Can you do anything right?
I don't think so.
Come on, where's your number 9? Where's your number 9?
All right, so let's see, 635. Bam.
Oh,
there's my number 9.
We weren't too far off.
No,
okay.
Do you know what this show is? This isn't the same. This is a Haunting of Bly Manor.
I'm getting confused because she's in both shows.
Yeah, it's the same actress. Hold on, let me a second. We'll look up the actress's name real quick.
Okay. Can I show you mine?
Yeah, go ahead and show me yours. I told you I felt like this was a good spot for this show, and for something told me that you felt exactly the same.
That's pretty good. All right.
So yeah, it's
look up the actress, but I just want to say that
Victoria
if I'm being honest,
Victoria Pedretti is her name.
Really?
I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
That doesn't sound right at all, but if I'm being honest, I really don't remember a ton about this show. It feels like it's been a while since we watched it too. But I mean, I remember that they had the girl and the little, the sisters that lived, near Joe and all that kind. I don't know. I'm kind of not remembering a ton about it, but
yeah, the thing I remember the most vividly about it is just how gory and horror driven it was. They really upped the ante. I think that the difference between this season and the first season was it felt much more tamer in comparison. Was meant for TV? That was actually on a TV network, wasn't it? On the CW or something? I think
Oxygen,
and it felt very much like a CW type show with a little bit of edge to it. This one just full dives into the gore and the violence and just the extremeness of it. So I enjoyed it a lot for that. And like I said, it's not the best show in the world, but I did really like it. I liked it. I think that Penn Badgley's excellent in the show. He's an excellent lead to the show. Just how he carries himself in this role. So I will give it.
Who knew? He was in Gossip Girl or something, and I had no idea that he was
I never watched that show, so yeah, I never watched that show, so I didn't.
Really?
I had never heard of him before
for
that.
A Gossip Girl watcher.
Huh? You thought I watched?
Yeah.
I mean, only if I dropped in when you were watching it or something. But I don't even remember doing that. I don't even remember watching it with you. I feel like you watched that show
I did
almost
watch it
solo. I was never even around for that.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into my number 8, and I'll try not to share my top 5.
I get to go first.
All right, you going first? Okay,
yeah,
go first.
I'm going first this time. We'll just go back
for
and forth. All right, I don't know if we're gonna match up or not, but all right, here's my number 8. Hello.
Upload. Hey, I liked Upload. Why do you hate Upload? Why's it your number 8?
I don't hate it, but
it was a good show.
I did love the show, and it was really like just fun and like I don't know, I really loved it. But again, there were just some other shows that I enjoyed a little bit more.
Yeah, I understand. I thought Upload was really fun. That was a show that
It
we
was.
watched pretty recently. It was what,
Yeah,
October, November of last year. Even though it came out, I think last March, we didn't get to it until later on in the year. But yeah, that was
it
a
was
really fun. It was a cool sci-fi story. It felt like an episode of Black Mirror, just kind of extended out over 10 episodes.
yeah. It was like a super easy watch, like those
Yeah.
nice short episodes. You just bam, 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 and before you know it, you watch the whole season.
Yeah, fun watch, fun characters.
Yeah.
I did enjoy that one quite a bit. So Upload is your number 8. It might be featured a little bit more prominently on my list, but I don't feel like it's
Okay. All
I don't
right.
feel like it's too much further up there. So let's share with you my number 8 real quick.
Better be the right number 8.
I'm not making any promises. I'm not making any promises. Let's see here. All right.
All right. What's it going to be?
Do you see it?
I don't see it.
Uh-oh. Did I get kicked? Do you see me?
Yeah, I see you. I just don't see any
Really?
pictures.
Everything is frozen on my computer right now. Oh, this is a horrible idea. Horrible idea. What is going on? All right, let's see if I can get out of this. All right, it says Google Chrome is not responding. You can still see me, though.
I can still see you. It says we're still live.
Okay, well, I don't know if I can share it, but this is Little Fires Everywhere was going to be my number 8.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah, did that make your list at all?
I don't know. I don't know if it did. I'm not going to say.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I'm completely just frozen in every way here.
Well, do you want to restart?
No. I'm going to see what this does.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, if you can see me, it's fine. It just makes things a little more difficult. Not sure if anybody else can see us out there right now. Let me know.
Yeah, I was trying to see if I could see comments, but I don't know if I can. But it says still live and the time is ticking. And I think you're frozen on mine now. Too much internet in one house. Oh, now I'm all alone.
Am I
Oh,
with you now?
I think you are.
Am I back?
Dear God, that was scary. I don't like to be on here alone.
Am I back? We got Pratty in the house. Hey, Ken and Michelle, joining
Oh,
in late because you know why. Nice surprise. Yeah, we're here talking about our top 10 TV shows. Pratty, what's up?
we're having some technical difficulties. What's new though, right?
But it's cool that I got kicked and then I could come back and you got to lead the
Because
show alone.
I was still here. Yeah, that mean you know what
Yeah,
that means. I
so
can
that's a
fill in when
nice
you're sick.
thing to know now. So now I don't have all of my images available, so I'm gonna have to
Why not?
not be
happened
able
to
to
you?
show them. So, but yeah, my number 8 was. I mean, I could try to get them back if you want to talk about Little Fires Everywhere and why you hate the show. Um, but I enjoyed the show. I thought it had good performances. I thought Reese Witherspoon was really good. I like the family dynamic between her and all the kids and the relationship. I like the way the story was told. I know that you very strongly disliked Kerry Washington and her performance in the show. I thought she was pretty good for the most part, even though it was a little bit over dramatic at times. But yeah, I enjoyed the show enough to put it at number 8. Like I said, most of these shows I like. It just some struck me a little bit more than others.
Okay, well, I wasn't gonna say anything, but now I am. I'm just gonna tell you that show is not in my top 10 at all.
Okay. I didn't
I
think it would be. I knew
Yeah,
that one wasn't going to be in yours.
I didn't love that show. I found it really hard to finish. And yeah, you're right. I did not like what's her name? Carrie Carrie Washington.
Kerry Washington.
Yeah, did not love her performance in this. She was very just over the top for me with her facial expressions, and it was too much for me to handle.
Yeah, I get
And
it.
the whole like she was like this runaway painter woman, and I don't know. I didn't love her story. I just didn't like the show. So bad choice,
And
Ken.
that's
Bad
okay. You're saying I had a bad choice?
Yes, number 8. Jesus.
How dare you? How
Are you
dare you?
gonna
All
are
right,
you
so
are you
I'm going to
working
see
on
if I can bring
getting
this up again.
Okay.
All right, did you see it now?
I do. There it is.
Okay.
That horrible show.
So now they're back. That's a cool poster, right?
Okay, well,
There's some
let's
other
just
things I
add.
feel like I need to say about it too. I like
Okay.
how I like shows, and tell you a little bit about myself. I like shows where you start at the end of something and then
Mm,
you go all the way back and you figure out how you got there. It's very like Tarantino-esque. So I've always enjoyed that kind of storytelling. So it's just something that kind of resonates with me.
it's okay. I don't hate that form of telling a story, but I just didn't love this
Yeah,
story.
I understand. Like I said, I didn't think it was going to be in yours, but you've already shared your number 8, right? So it's my turn
It was
for
upload. Yep. Number
um,
7.
it's my turn for number 7 now. That's what we're doing.
Yep. You go first.
Okay. So already did that one.
Are you gonna put the right one up?
Yeah. Well, I've figured out now how to um, know what's coming next.
Oh wait, but we said we were gonna talk. Is there anybody else in the chat before we go on?
I was going to talk about them at when we got to the end of 6. So
Oh,
upload is my number 7. So pretty close to yours. Did you just put it at 8? Was that at
I
8
just
for
had
you?
it at 8. Yep.
Okay, so we're like almost right there with each other with the show. So
Yep.
yeah, we talked about it. Cool sci-fi story, really like Black Mirror-esque type show. Good characters, fun story. Like the way everything unfolded. So yeah, that's my number 7. But what is your number 7?
My number 7 also started with a U, but it was Utopia.
Utopia. Utopia.
Utopia. Yeah.
Utopia. That show didn't even make my list.
Really? All right. Okay.
No, it might. I was just messing with you.
Oh, I mean, I didn't love everything about the show.
Yeah.
Like some of the like, what do you want to call it? When they were like looking at the comic books to like find all these different metaphors and symbols and like some of it got kind of a little bit too much and kind of far fetched, but
Yeah.
I did really enjoy, I don't know, stories that are just like kind of talking about the apocalyptic world and like things that you could kind of possibly see happen one day to an extent. Those always kind of interest me a lot. And that's kind of what this was. But
Yeah, it was
especially
a
when you're
very
watching during like COVID times, you're kind of like, oh my God, like
yeah,
we're
this
going there.
show is like I don't know when they wrote it. I mean, they had to have wrote it before, but this
They
is
like
like
clearly
ripped
planned
straight
this,
out of
right?
what we're going through right now.
Right.
It was crazy, and it was cool to see John Cusack back in a role, and he was really good in
Yeah,
this
he was
show.
really good. Yeah, for
What was the
sure.
little thing he said to his family at the dinner table?
What did you
Do you
do
remember?
to earn your place in the world today?
Oh yeah. I knew you
Oh
remember
my
that
God.
because you really liked that line.
Yeah.
And then you had Dwight from The Office in it, but
Wow.
this
Who
was a
knew he
show
could
that
act like that?
yeah, he was really good. I mean, he's done dramatic acting before and other stuff. I'm trying to think of what else he's been in, but he was kind of
Well,
dramatic and
he
super.
impressive.
Yeah, he was good in the show. I liked everybody in this show. Very surprising. Well, I'm not going to spoil nothing, but this show
Yeah.
does get very crazy very quick. And
Mm-hmm.
then it seems to lull a little bit in the middle. It wasn't as interesting like the middle episodes, and then it got really good again towards the end. So
Yeah.
yeah, I enjoyed this show quite a bit. So that was your number. What are we on? Is that your number 6?
That was my number 7.
That was your number 7. So what
Yep.
was your number 6?
My number 6, I forgot. I should have been writing this. My number 6 is
Really?
The Undoing.
That actually surprises me.
Why?
I didn't think you liked that show that much.
I did.
To put it above Utopia
Yeah.
and Upload, I
Yeah.
thought those were both better than The Undoing.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We can disagree here, right?
I'm just messing with you. I just like to mess with you. I like The Undoing. I like The Undoing. I thought it was an interesting show for sure.
I mean,
with good performances by Hugh Grant and Nicole Kidman.
They definitely drug it out. They could have totally done that story, I feel like, in a couple of episodes. But
yeah, I actually thought they were going to drag it out even more. I didn't know it was only going to be 6 episodes.
Well, it seems like it was way more than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the show. And I liked how you thought you knew who did it, but then you're like, I don't know, maybe I don't know who did it. And then I will say though, the ending kind of pissed me off.
Yeah,
do you remember the ending?
I'm struggling to think of the ending because it was like this one and another show that we're going to talk about probably later. Felt like had similar tones and vibes, at least in the way that they told the story. And I'm getting like parts of that confused with this one, but it was pretty much. I don't want to spoil anything. So if anybody hasn't seen The Undoing, but it was another scene involving a high speed chase, right, in a car, something like that.
Yeah, it did.
And then the reveal felt a little bit lackluster, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
From what you were expecting, but
I mean, the acting was pretty phenomenal in my opinion.
It was. I mean,
like Hugh Grant was awesome. I've never seen him like as a asshole before. I mean, maybe he's been an asshole before in a lot of movies, but you know, I haven't seen it.
Oh, hold on, whoa! You might be spoiling something to call Hugh Grant an asshole. No, he's.
Okay, I might be.
No, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just joking with it. No, he was really good in the show. He's always been a good actor. Nicole Kidman always crushes it in everything she's in lately. I mean, she's doing all kinds of television. And
the cute little boy.
Yeah, the boy was really good. What wasn't there another Donald Sutherland? Donald Sutherland was really good in this. The veteran actor Donald Sutherland was in this, and he was excellent in the show. So, yeah, I enjoyed the show quite a bit. So, is it my turn for number 6? You did number 6, right?
You better get to it. Yep.
All right, so we better get to it, or the kids are going to run down and
they're going to run down and
they're going to interrupt the stream.
They are. They're going to take it over.
All right, so let's see.
What is your number 6?
My 6 was Bly Manor. My 6 was Bly Manor.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's a good show, and you know how much I love horror. Like, I'm a horror guy, so it makes sense that a horror-driven show would be towards the top of my list. Plus, we got to watch this around October, Halloween time, so you got to feel all those horror Halloween vibes while you watched it. Yeah. It was a show. It took a little bit to get going for me.
Yeah.
Like the first 3 or 4 episodes. And I usually don't like to use that as a way to promote a show or talk about it or recommend a show. Because in my opinion, if you got to watch like 3 or 4 episodes of a show, it's probably not worth watching. But this is one of those cases where I felt like just after 3 or 4, once you get through the establishment of all these characters and their relationships with each other, and they really got into the story. And I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed the way it was told, and I ended up enjoying and caring about a lot of the characters when I thought that I wouldn't when the show first started. So
yeah,
it's one of those shows that I appreciated it because it really just it was able to turn me around on it so late in the game, and it's rare for a show to be able to do that. So
that is true. It did kind of do that for me too, but I just didn't love it as much.
And the ending, which some people could, look at as just being kind of overdone. It's really it's a love story at the end of the day. It's a love story, and it's one of those that I felt like the love felt forced. They're going to beat you over the head with it. It is a lesbian relationship, and it felt forced like through most of the show. But by the end of it, like I felt like a really strong connection to both of those characters, and I thought it was really well done what they did in that last episode.
Right. Yeah. I bought at the end, I bought their relationship too. Like I was like, okay, like I'm actually invested in this relationship.
Yeah. So
I believed that they were in love, and yeah.
So I thought that number 6 was an appropriate spot on the list for this. So
maybe not.
Before I reveal my number 5, I'll jump into the comments for a little bit because we got a couple people. So 4K Corners here. He says, loving this. Awesome. 4K. Glad you here. And anybody, if you like any of these shows, if you got anything to say about any of these shows, feel free to comment in the chat, and we'll talk about it with you. Priddy says the trailer of The Undoing gave major defending Jacob vibes. Is it any different from that? Maybe I should see it if it's not Love Nicole Kidman. So that's actually the show I was referencing when I was talking about it. So
Defending Jacob is on our list. So you'll just have to see where it turns up at.
It might turn up somewhere. Phil's Creepy Videos is here. Hey there, horror fans. What is up, Phil? How you doing? It's your buddy, Phil. He's always got to come in here and say that. I love his tagline, though. I do love his tagline. Nice. So let's see. I'm going to share my number. You got me confused right here because it's like after I do mine, then I feel like you're supposed to go, but then I'm going because we're can switch it. We're alternating back and forth. No, I'm going to keep it going because it's something that you established, and I don't want to take that away from you. I don't want to take that away from you. Okay. Believe me, I'm no expert. You've been doing this for 30 minutes, and you're already better than me.
Oh, right.
All right. Let's see.
So we are on number 5.
Utopia is my number 5. Okay. Like I said, I enjoy the show a lot. Got real crazy real quick. Like I said, it lulled a little bit in the beginning, but it picked up in the end. I like that we actually got a legitimate cliffhanger. That means that there should be a season 2 of this show. I don't know how it did or how they measure the metrics of how it did, but
they definitely left it open for another season, which there for a little bit, I'm like, I don't really see like how they could keep this going, but I kind of forget what happened at the end, but they definitely left it open for another season. I just remember being like, okay, there's definitely going to be one.
Oh yeah. Well, it's she goes out in that, I just remember there's a house and she goes up in the top floor and she meets somebody up there and she figures out like,
right.
I don't know. There's stuff that, like I said, I got to remember. I can't remember everything.
Spoiler alert, but
I was trying to be a little vague there, but really I wasn't trying to be vague. I don't remember because I have a horrible memory. But let's see. You can go ahead and tell me what your number 5 is because I am very interested in hearing that.
All right. I don't know if you're going to believe this one or not, but my number 5 is The Servant.
The Servant, season 1.
Season 1.
Yep, we have to specify with that, and we'll get into that a little bit later as one of our other shows that's going to be a little bit more towards the top. But
we're still watching season 2.
Yep. So, what do you want to say about The Servant? Do you have anything to say about The Servant?
Let's see. What can I say about The Servant? It definitely was like it's not what I thought it was going to be about, and. I really like the 2 main leads. Well, if you want to count, Ron Weasley.
3 main leads, really. It does feel like it's a tri-lead performance. Yeah. Like they're all kind of in it together.
I just really love them all 3 together. And I don't know what his name is.
Toby Kebbell.
Names. Okay.
Well, you're talking about Ron Weasley. So that's Rupert Grint is his name. And,
I enjoy seeing him, in something other than Harry Potter. It's cool to see.
He's really good in the show, and he acts a lot as like the comic relief for a lot of stuff, and but he's really good in the show, providing that kind of anchor base for the other 2 characters. But then you got Toby Kebbell, who he's good in everything he's in. I don't know why that guy hasn't really blown up more as an actor, but I always remember him in that Black Mirror episode.
Right.
The entire history of you. That is my favorite Black Mirror episode. I love that episode, and he's so good in it. Everybody's great in that episode. But he also does a lot of mocap work. He's in Planet of the Apes movies and stuff like that. He's been in other stuff as well. I can't think of everything off the top of my head. He was in Kong Skull Island. He's just been a lot of bit parts and stuff. But yeah, I enjoy his performance quite a bit. Lauren Ambrose, though, to me is like the
Yeah.
star of this show,
Oh,
and
yeah.
she hasn't been in anything since. The only thing I remember from is Can't Hardly Wait back in like 1998, that little teen comedy. So I'm like, where the hell did she go and where did she come from? Because she's
Well, it's like
awesome in this show.
yeah, like I would never even believe that that is the same person. Like it still shocks the hell out of me that that is her.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's awesome in this. And I mean, yeah, at times maybe she could be a little over dramatic, but for
I
some
feel like
reason,
she was.
I just really
I feel
buy
like
it.
you turned a corner on her because when the show first started, I
Oh
felt
my
like you were a
God.
little bit annoyed with her and what she was doing with her
Well,
performance.
it was kind of like the whole like their filming style. I don't know all the
Yeah, it's
terms or
very
whatever.
like
But like at
it's
first
like
they were
shot like way. It's like real close shots, like right in the face. It's
yeah.
very
And
unique.
they don't do it as much now, I feel like. It's kind of backed off of that just a little bit, I feel like. But in the very beginning it was like very like and I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm gonna like this or not. But it got really interesting and good.
Yeah. Yep, I enjoyed the show enough to where it might be further up on my list than it is yours. So,
Okay. All right.
let's get into my. I guess what'll be my. I'm at my 5 right now. I just did my 5, so this will be my 4 that I'm at right now.
We're getting up there. We're getting to the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, we're getting there. That's for sure. And yeah, I'm about ready to throw out
Oh
a
God, I'm
real
scared.
showstopper here.
I'm
Um,
scared.
the Defending Jacob. Another Apple TV
Oh.
Plus show. It's one that we just watched recently.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, I really enjoyed the show. This was another one that felt like a little bit of a slower burn. Took me a little bit to get into it.
Yes. I
Um,
second that. But man,
but
once it got going, you're like, this show is freaking awesome and I gotta know how it ends.
yeah, it does a really good job of just stringing you along through this mystery. And I don't want to spoil anything, but I know a lot of people were divisive on how it ended. I
Hmm.
love the ending. I love
Yeah, that ending.
I love the ambiguity of it, yeah, even though that's kind of a spoiler. But yeah, I love the ending. I know a lot of people that didn't find it very satisfying, but I thought it was great. And to me, like it heavily implies something, um, but
That you
without
don't.
saying it. So to
Um,
me, like I know who the killer was in my mind. The show implied it by the ending that it chose to give us or give us, but I know a lot of people kind of wanted a more concrete, definitive answer there. So, yeah, this is a hell of a
I
performance
feel
by
like
Chris Evans.
I really
And
feel like we should hold on. Can I get a
go ahead,
word
go
in
ahead,
here,
go
King?
ahead, go ahead. Sorry, I'm used to doing this by myself, unless I got 4K
Well,
corner here with me.
sh- well, you need to share some space then. No, no, I was just gonna say that. Now I forget what I was gonna say. I forget. I forget what I was gonna say.
I'll leave you in silence until you can think of it.
I
I'm not
know.
saying another word.
Oh, I forget now. I'm sorry. I'm inside my mind.
I was just well, I was talking about like the ending.
Well,
Was it
okay.
something there?
Yeah, I think I was gonna say that I feel like this could have been more fun if we could have had spoilers. Because there's just like so many things about each show that like it's what makes it awesome or not awesome. And so
Yeah.
it sucks not being able to talk about it.
Well, I
But
mean, this is yeah, I just some of these shows are kind of, well, not newer, but
newish.
they're from
Yeah.
last year. So, and sometimes we don't get the stuff until
Yeah.
like a year away. So I want to be kind and at least, I didn't put the spoilers thing up on the thumbnail. So I don't want somebody to come in here and think that
That's
it's
true.
not
That's
spoilers. And then
true.
we just flat out spoil something like right
Right.
at the beginning. But who knows? Maybe we can eventually work our way into doing like deep dives on some of these shows and talk about them in more
Hmm.
spoiler way. So
Well, I will
yeah,
say
Defending
too with
Jacob
this
number 4.
show, do you feel like it kind of changes how you viewed the show because you are a father?
Oh yeah, 100%,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I talked to you about it when we're watching it. I'm like, even if I knew my son was a murderer, I would still fight to protect him and try to figure out the situation and keep him out of jail because that's just what
Yeah.
you do. That's the bond, and that's why I loved. I didn't even know he was in this till he popped up. But J.K. Simmons' role in this and how he
Oh
fit
yeah.
into the equation with his relationship with Chris Evans, his son, and then his relationship with his grandson. and just the themes that brought in there. And it's very heavy, and it does force you to kind of think about what you would do in the situation. But it's like, you're not going to turn over your son to the cops. It doesn't matter what he did. And it's that theme of like family that really does hit close to home, and it does make the decision making hard though.
Right. I just liked, just without giving too much away, it kind of showed, the two parents and kind of how they were dealing with this news kind of differently, but still trying to do it together and just, get through. Like, I can't even imagine dealing with something like that, but they both kind of handled it differently.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point that you brought up, because that is a really interesting aspect of the show. Because I mean, Chris Evans is very much kind of like what I'm saying I would do, and he's just like, I don't care if he murdered anybody or not, I'm gonna protect him. And I mean, even he didn't ever want to believe it, even though you kind of got the sense throughout the show that he knew that his son was probably murdered because all the evidence was pointing to him. But he tried to not believe it, and he still wanted to protect him at all costs. Whereas the mother was very much like, she was afraid of her son, and she was just like, this, we have to do something. We have to turn him in. We have to get him help and all this. She was acting in a motherly way. She wanted to protect him in a different way.
She was kind of going back in her mind, thinking of all the times, that he could have acted unusual, or, could she have seen signs back then to change things, stuff like that. So, but without going into too much detail, is there anybody else in the chat that we should say hi to before we keep going?
Rev4K just showed up, and he said, I'm late. What's up, Rev4K? We're just talking about our favorite TV shows of 2020. I talk a lot about physical media on this channel. I talk a lot about movies. I don't get to talk about TV that much, and we watch a lot of TV. So that's why I brought in my resident TV expert, my wife, because I watch all the shows with her. So we got 4K Corner in there laughing. And Pratty said, do you feel like there is a need for season 2 for DJ? J.K. Simmons is so good in it.
Not really. I feel like they should leave it where it was.
I really don't know where they would go. I really don't know where they would go with it. But one other thing I want to talk about with this show is you got Chris Evans is great in the show. And awesome. Jaden Martell, I think is his name, is the kid from It and some other movies. But what did you think? Because I know we talked about her throughout the show and how she was not the best. What did you think of the mom, whose name is escaping me right now? Because I gotta pull her up on IMDb.
So I didn't love her in the beginning. I just thought she was very like generic up against Chris Evans. I was just
Michelle Dougherty is her name.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't love her at first, but towards the end, like I felt like she really started to shine, and like, she got to have her moment. And I was like, okay, you can act if you want to.
It was a good bit of acting in the was it the last episode? The car scene?
Maybe.
It was the last episode.
Yeah. And I mean, it wasn't just the last episode that she like finally warmed up to me. Like it, like maybe middle to end, I don't know. Like I just started to like, really buy into her performance, I guess. But I didn't feel that way right away.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So we'll go ahead and remove that. And do you need to do your number 4? Are you next for number 4?
I am. I've got to tell you my number 4. All right. I have a feeling that this show is probably not even in your top 10.
I have a feeling that you're right, and I think that it's the one. I'll say it if you put it up, because I feel like I know what it's going to be.
Okay.
So I'll say it if you put it up and it's not in my top 10.
Are you ready?
Yeah, that's it. So that's your number 4?
That's my number 4, baby.
Yeah, I liked that. For me, this show, I think Nicholas Holt's fantastic in the show. Like, he's incredibly awesome, but it's a shtick that he does that kind of wore a little bit thin on me by like episode 4 or 5. I don't know if you noticed while we were watching it.
I could tell that you didn't love it.
But it wasn't a show I was ever eager to get back to.
Yeah.
And I thought Elle Fanning was very good in the show, but she also kind of got on my nerves more as the show progressed. So again, I liked the show overall. It just wasn't good enough to me to make it on the list. It started off really strong. Like if you would ask me first 3 episodes and I'm done watching it, I would say, "Oh, it's a really good show. I really enjoy it." But then the whole shtick of it, and just the way that kind of the humor and just how just the style of it kind of wore a little bit thin on me as we went.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different. It had like its little quirkiness, if you will. But I just thought it was like super fun. And I love like, what do you call them? Like time history pieces.
Yeah, you love that genre.
Love that
so
shit.
much.
Eat it up.
Yeah,
I
you
love that
gravitate to
genre.
that. That and what else are you watching right now? Dickerson on Apple TV Plus. I'm not watching
Dickerson, yes.
that one with you.
What's her name? Haley Steinfeld, I think.
Haley Steinfeld. Yep.
Yeah,
She's going to be in
loving that
another show this year, the Hawkeye series. Are you going to watch the Hawkeye series?
Oh God, no, probably not. Probably not.
So we're not doing Disney Plus recaps on here, or Marvel
Yeah,
recaps.
maybe.
Probably not.
Never
Yeah.
say never. But yeah, I don't know. I just thought that The Great was
Great.
I thought it was great. Yeah, there you go. I thought it was super fun. I'm looking forward to season 2. If you don't want to watch it with me, that's totally fine.
I'll watch it. I'll watch it. Like I can't even remember how it ended. Like this is a problem that I'm having with all these shows. I remember certain parts about them, but I couldn't remember how they ended. And
we watched too much damn TV, babe.
I feel like it wrapped up in a good way. Do you remember what happened? I mean, again, don't want to spoil it, but
yeah.
let's put the spoiler alert thing on.
It was kind of like they were starting a new like revolution or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I don't know. I enjoyed.
But yeah, no.
I enjoyed a lot
spoilers,
about the show. I enjoyed a lot about the show.
Okay.
I didn't hate it.
Fair enough.
But so that was your number 4, right?
That was my.
I can put this
4.
up if we want to talk spoilers. See that? I can put my spoiler alert.
Oh, fancy. Okay.
Up if we want to talk spoilers. So is it my turn for number 3? Is it it's your turn for number 3? Your turn.
Okay.
Because of your awkward staging.
Yeah. Apparently, I'm not good at picking orders of things. Okay. Let's see. Here is my number 3.
Oh, Defending Jacob. That's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, for all of the reasons I just listed, yeah, it's a good show.
I enjoyed
it's a great
the
show on Apple TV Plus. Apple TV Plus
is killing
is so good. And one show that's not going to end up on our list that we can talk about briefly, because I told you it didn't fit the criteria, and that's the morning show. Because it did come out in 2019, didn't have a season in 2020. I think it was supposed to, but it got delayed. And we actually watched it this year. Yeah. And when it released in 2019, so we didn't watch any part of that in 2020. Plus, it wasn't a 2020 show, so I didn't include it. But that is a great show on Apple TV Plus as well. If you want to talk about that for a second, just kind of like a side note thing.
What, you want me to talk? Like, say the show?
I thought you love the show. Talk about the show.
Like, did you say the name? I'm like, I'm waiting for it.
The morning show.
The morning show. Yeah.
It's a great show, right?
Hello,
Jennifer
welcome
Aniston.
to the morning show. Yeah, I feel like we're on the morning show right now.
A night show.
Man, it was so like Jennifer Aniston. She was just freaking loved her in that. I mean, I've always loved her, but like she was just I loved her in this. I mean, she was kind of a bitch, but like she also wasn't, if that makes sense. I love the show.
I think the big scene that probably hit close to home for you was when the argument with her daughter was a pretty.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
Pretty good piece of acting by Jennifer Aniston. Yeah, she was great in the show. Steve Carell, who didn't really become a huge part of that show until like the last 5 episodes, I would say. They kind of left him on the back burner a little bit until we got those last 5.
Yeah.
And then it's like you kind of feel sorry for him in the first 5 episodes, and then just a little bit, and then they just kind of shred all of that in the last 5 episodes, and you're just like, this guy's a fucking scumbag.
Yeah, you're like, okay, I get it now. Never mind, he's bad.
And then you got Creep. Reese Witherspoon, the Creep guy, the guy from Creep. I know him from Creep because I love horror found footage movies, and that's a great found footage movie.
I loved his
Mark Duplass, incredible. Billy Crudup, who plays the main guy, the head of the station, not the main guy, but the guy right below him, the real fast talking, like smooth
The one
talking
that
guy.
came in and was new.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah,
I think he got
him.
nominated for an Emmy or something in the show. So I think he was the only one that got nominated. Yep.
Oh,
Out of
that's
everybody.
kind of meh. I mean, I like the creep guy, whatever his name is. I loved his character. I loved him in it.
Yeah, he was
because
great.
I've only ever seen him in that Creep movie, and that movie was really fucked up. So
Yeah. So well, no, you saw him in that one movie with Elizabeth Olsen, not Elizabeth Olsen, Invisible Man, Elizabeth Moss,
what?
the one I love or something like that, where they're like in a house and there's like doppelgangers and stuff. Remember that movie?
But like, what was he? What did he play?
He was the guy. There was two of them. There was Elizabeth Moss and it was Mark Duplass, and they were like living in pool houses and were like falling in love with each
I
other's
didn't like that
doppelgangers.
movie. Yeah, I did not like that movie.
Oh, you didn't like it? I can't remember too much about it, but I thought that you liked that movie.
No, I remember being like really confused. Like, what the fuck is this movie? What is that?
This is a family channel. You can't just
I'm
cuss
sorry.
like
You
that.
just just dropped the F bomb too. Jesus.
Jesus. No. All right. So it's my turn for number 3. My turn for number 3.
Say the Lord's name in vain.
I know. Look at you.
Jesus.
We're getting freaking taken off the air by the YouTube gods. All right. So let me share with you my number 3, and I can't even remember what it is off the top of my head.
What's it gonna be? I gotta know.
It's The Servant.
All right. I feel like honestly, we haven't really been that far off from one another.
No, we haven't. I think, there's been a couple that I've had on my list that haven't been on yours. You've had a couple that weren't on mine that are on yours, like The Undoing's not on mine.
But the ones that we have had are like only like one off or something.
Yep. I like Upload and Utopia. They're all pretty much in line. So where'd you have The Servant? Do you have it at like number 6 or 5?
I had The Servant at 5.
5. Okay. So yeah, that's pretty close. I enjoyed The Servant a lot. Like I said, I'm a horror guy. I like horror themed shows, and this was a very it's weird because we still don't know. We're like still in the middle of season 2. We're watching it week to week now, but we still really don't know if there's supernatural elements involved in all this. We kind of get the idea that there is.
We're still very confused.
But what I think the first season does so well is just kind of creates this atmosphere to where it could be real. Like all of this could be real. It could be like her stealing the baby, bringing a new one back in. That episode that was in the first season, right? With it showed you the whole story. I'm like, okay, I get the idea. You don't have to show the whole thing, and then they just show everything, and
it's really
it's a heartbreaking. Yeah, it's very uncomfortable to watch. That whole scene. So
let's talk about that one movie that like you just were like clenching in your seat.
Yeah, it was very much like Pieces of a Woman and how I felt. I don't like that kind of stuff at all. I appreciate it when they do it well.
Keep watching it.
Yeah, I mean that was my number 3 movie of the year for last year. So I put it up top because I do when a movie makes me feel uncomfortable, it's doing its job. Like I didn't feel like it did it in a gratuitous way. So
you can literally watch people be like murdered brutally, but it's like if you see a woman who's like going to give birth,
Turn
you're
today,
like, oh,
and people
shit.
were literally getting their skulls smashed in, brains all over the place.
Awesome.
And I can watch that all day. But you can't do a birthing scene and the baby dies. That's horrible. Don't do that. Just don't do that. Got a couple people. Got Sarah Martinez says hi, welcome Sarah. Pratty says that scene where she smashes the phone is such a mood.
What's he talking about?
I think he's talking about the morning show. I think he was talking about the morning show. But you can clarify, Pratty, if you would.
Do. I'm trying to think.
So now is 4K Corners was a good wrong turn. I'm going to review it on the channel, but I will say that I enjoyed it more than the original Wrong Turn. I will say that, and I haven't seen any of the sequels, but I thought it was better than the original one, to be honest. So, all right, so now it is my turn. You're yawning, so I'm boring you.
Boring. It's my bedtime, guys. I don't stay up this late.
All right, we'll try to get through this quickly. So I've got, he says, yep, that was Jen from the morning show. Okay, so...
Why am I not remembering this theme? When did she smash the phone? I like cannot think of it.
I can't remember off the top of my head either, to be honest. So
seems like
let's
I would
go.
remember that, but
My number 2 is Ozark season 3.
Okay. Well, we already know what your number 1 is, so I don't know why I'm surprised.
Well, there might be different group of people in here. I think the whole chat emptied and different people came in since I revealed that, so they might not even seen it.
That's true. Okay.
I've said it so many times on this channel, on my page. People should know what my number 1 of 2020 was. But Ozark season 3, this is a great show. This is shades of Breaking Bad in all the best ways. Jason Bateman's incredible. The actress right here, Julia Garner's incredible. Laura Linney like steals season 2 and 3 in my opinion. Her character and her character arc. It has a really awesome cliffhanger that really reminded me of like some of the best moments of Breaking Bad at the end of this season, and I cannot wait for season 4. So what did you think? Because it's hard for us. We've talked about this. We watched this whole show this year for the first time. We watched season 1, 2, and 3 all together. So it's hard to kind of pick out like what's parts of season 3 and what was season 2. But this is the season, I guess I can remember it in my head, that dealt with Helen a lot and her relationship with Laura Linney, who I can't remember her name on the show. What's Jason Bateman's wife name? Wendy.
Yes, Wendy.
Their relationship, and it also brought in her brother, who wasn't in any of the previous seasons, who was also really great in the show as well. I like the kids in the show. Yeah, I like everything about the show. Very interested in seeing where it goes from here. So, what do you think about Ozark season 2? And are we at your number 2 now?
We're at my number 2. I haven't said it.
Okay, so is this your number 2?
It is not my number 2.
Really? So this is not on your list?
I didn't say that.
Really?
Really? Do you want to know what my number 2 is?
Yeah, go ahead and say it.
That's my number 2.
Really?
That's my number 2.
The Queen's Gambit. That's a hell of a show. I don't know if it made my list or not, but it's a hell of a show.
Oh, I have no idea if it made your list.
It's alright.
No idea.
It's an alright show.
It's alright. Who knew that chess could be so fucking interesting, right?
To me, this and I know you probably don't like it when I bring the show up or movie up because I literally talk about it all the time, and you're sick of it, and you didn't like it that much. This movie did for chess what Whiplash did for drumming.
Oh God, I knew you were going to say it.
It felt like in that same vein, just the obsessive nature of somebody that just has to be the best at something.
If anybody is in the comments, can you please tell this man that Whiplash
they all
is
love
not
Whiplash.
that good?
They all love Whiplash.
All right.
I don't know if they do or not. But yeah, this is
no.
The Queen's Gambit was an incredible show, but let's go ahead and get into what your number 1. Your number 1.
All right. What's it going to be? Is it going to be Tiger King? Is it going to be I forget.
I will walk out of this room if it's Tiger King.
All right. What's my number 1? Ozark.
I can't believe that. I honestly can't believe it that you put that at number 1. You like the season 3 that much or the whole show that much to put it at number 1?
Well, like I said, it's really hard for me to remember what season was what. I don't know. It all blurs together. But yeah, I really liked Ozark, Jason Bateman. I really didn't know if I was going to get into that show because I'm pretty sure we tried to watch it before, like a long time ago. And I was like, meh.
I did.
Okay, maybe you did.
I got through the first 5 episodes.
I ended up loving that drug dealing, money laundering family. So.
Yeah, what Ozark is I mean, people have described it this way before, but it's basically Breaking Bad, but if the whole family was in on it from the beginning.
And they didn't have cancer. They don't have cancer.
And they don't have cancer. That would be a weird coincidence if they all had cancer.
Because so
dealing drugs.
Well, okay, so it makes sense though with Breaking Bad. He literally starts dealing drugs or whatever because he has cancer and he knows that he's going to leave his family with nothing. Now, why does Jason Bateman get into this? I can't remember why he takes this route. Do you remember? Or the spoiler alert? I don't know.
Well, it's something that they do a lot of groundwork and going back and explaining, but it's basically he's this is kind of what he's been doing for a while. He's been working with this guy that he hadn't even met, who was in the first season. Dell, I think was his name.
Right. Doesn't he kind of get
Basically,
like roped into it, and then it's kind of like too late
he's
to
basically
back
been
out?
working with him for a while in a money laundering operation, and basically something happens with his partner. I can't remember all the details either. I think his partner
Yeah.
steals some money out of the pot that I think he's been like stealing from them, and without Jason Bateman knowing, and then they bring them both in, and they end up shooting him, and then Jason basically barters with him and
Mm-hmm.
says that I can make you a ton of money in the Ozarks if you let me go down there and
Right.
wash your money. So
I was just gonna say it's a little bit more admirable what Walter White did than what he,
I don't know.
you don't really.
Uh,
I mean,
it
he
may be in the
literally.
beginning, but I think that
Uh-huh.
yeah, Walter White was pretty much a scumbag from the beginning, and
Okay.
it was kind of the show
I
wanted
felt
you
like
to
he had
think
a like
that
he.
he was doing it for his family, but it was really about him. And as the show progresses, you learn that more and more. Whereas I think Jason
Well,
Bateman is really
eh,
for his family. I think it's for his family more than Walter White is. Laura Linney, though, is as Wendy is more questionable in that I think she's for her family too, but she's more of the power hungry one because a lot of season 2 is
yeah,
about her wanting to expand and keep going with it, whereas
yeah,
Jason Bateman wants to get out of it.
yeah,
And that's kind of like the conflict they set up for season 3.
yeah. See, I don't think. I mean, we're going on to a different show, talking about a different show, Breaking Bad. But I don't feel like Walter White was always bad. I think that it progressed once he got like a little money hungry and the power and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah. It's
He
no, I
wasn't like
mean
that way right out the bat.
he did some heinous things in the show though. Some really like pretty close to the beginning. Um
Well, he was a dying man. What do you expect him to do? I mean, seriously.
so we got more sympathy for Walter White here. So
All right. Well, let's see your number one.
um what am I doing here? You want to see my number one?
Did you lose your number one?
I lost myself there for a second. All right,
I
let's
get it. You're
see.
saying that I'm your number one, right? Is that what you're saying here?
You're my number one of 2020. Getting to spend all of 2020 with you locked inside was the
Oh,
highlight of my year. But
yes.
yeah, The Queen's Gambit is my number one. This is a show that we watched, I think, last September or
Who
October.
who whose idea was it to watch the show?
It was your idea. I'll give you
It was
full
my
credit.
idea. Yes.
Yeah, this was my favorite piece of entertainment all year. This is the best. Even though now, after I've seen No Land, I might actually change that opinion. I might put No Land above The Queen's Gambit. But this is my up until the end of last year. This is my favorite thing that I watch movies, television
Mm.
all year. I thought this show was incredibly captivating, engrossing. I thought that Anya Taylor-Joy, who I've loved since The Witch, and I know you're not another movie that you're sick of me talking about, but I love it. It's my favorite horror movie. The whole
No.
21st century, she's excellent in that. And I knew she had it in her to pull out a fantastic show-stopping performance.
Yeah,
And
she
yeah,
was.
she's excellent in this show. So say what you
She
want about
was.
New Mutants or Emma that we watched. She wasn't very good in Emma. That wasn't a good movie. But
I
she's
haven't seen
absolutely
that, but
fantastic in this show.
yeah, this show. I had heard that. I don't know. I'd heard, I guess, from I don't know the internet that this show
The internet.
might the internet
Funny how the
could.
internet can just start spreading rumors that quickly.
Yeah. I heard that the show might be good, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm gonna try it out. Hey, you think you want to watch this? And I'm pretty sure, like, you didn't say anything, but you probably were thinking, yeah, this is probably not going to be good. I mean, is that what you thought? Like, did you think that it was going to be as good as it was?
I think that when you suggested it, I had already started hearing some rumblings of that it
Okay,
was really good. So I went into it
some
thinking that
rumblings.
it was a show that was probably going to be good and I
Yeah.
would probably enjoy. I just didn't
Hmm.
know that I would enjoy it that much.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, it's just pretty awesome how people can take something as simple as chess and just tell a story with it. Like, it
Yeah.
was pretty awesome.
Great story, great characters, great cinematography. Like it was a beautiful show, just the
Oh
way it was
yeah.
directed, just all the
Hmm.
freaking shots, lots of different settings. Because she like goes to Paris,
Yeah,
And it's a
travels all
period
over.
piece as well. It's taking place in the 60s.
Super
Yeah,
fun.
they really capture that time period very well. So we can go all the way back here and talk about bring up some people here in the chat before we get off. But yeah, that's our top 10. Do you want to cover your top 10 one more time? Just kind of like in order.
Well, I feel like too, should we tell them the ones that didn't make the cut?
Yeah, we can do some honorable mentions, even though I think that it's only two that one of us didn't put on there. So the flight attendant was
Didn't
one
make
that we
either one
didn't
of our
have.
lists.
Didn't make either
Yeah.
one of our lists. I enjoyed that show for what it was. That was really
hmm
fun. Mystery of that Kaylee Kuko, I think's her name.
Yeah.
Who I only know from The Big Bang Theory and maybe like a couple of movies here and there. She really surprised me with her performance. I thought she was by far the best thing about that show.
Yeah.
Um, her performance in it, but yeah, it
She
was
definitely had a drinking problem in that show.
yeah. A lot of great
Like
characters have drinking
every time
problems.
you're like watching the show, well, I guess you would say the Queen's Gambit, she had a drinking problem too.
Yeah.
But
A
it's like
lot of
every
our
time you're
great
looking, they have a
female
drink in their
characters of
hand.
2020 had drinking problems.
I'm like, damn, they're just like, yeah. But so that one didn't make the list, and what was the other one?
And A Teacher was the other one that didn't make
Oh
the list.
yeah,
And you didn't
yeah.
like that show at all. I thought it was a pretty good show. I'm
I
not
mean,
saying
are
I
we
loved it. I thought it was
surprised?
pretty good the way they handled the story and just the way it progressed. I thought was interesting the way they did it.
It was very like Oxygen Channel, Hallmarky, like
Yeah.
it just wasn't good.
And I
Like
got to talk about.
I have to mention, I hate that woman, that girl. Don't like her.
Yeah, Kate Mara. You're not a Kate
Yeah,
Mara fan.
don't
What
like
about
her. Don't
how
like
do
her.
you feel about Rooney Mara? You big Rooney Mara fan?
Who is that? I don't know who that is.
That's her sister. I'm struggling to think of movies she's been in off the top of my head. I know she's in like The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, but we didn't watch that. She was in A Ghost Story with
Yeah,
Casey
I don't know.
Affleck. I have to think of some more stuff she's been in.
I'm
I
not
got to talk
sure.
about The Mandalorian real quick because you wouldn't let
Oh
me put
God.
this on
Okay.
the list because you hadn't seen it.
Okay.
But if I had been able to put The Mandalorian on my list, that would probably been my number 2 or 3 up there with Ozark and The Queen's Gambit because that was a fantastic season of television. And as a Star Wars fan, this is
Yes,
one of
like
the coolest
as
things I've
we
ever seen in my life.
mentioned,
That last episode, what happened? I was freaking out.
this was only shows that we have both seen. So
Yeah, you
that is
brought
why
that
that's not.
stipulation. I mean, I thought it was very mean the way you did that. I didn't
But
do
it
that
just
with
makes
you.
sense. It makes
I would
sense.
have let you put Grey's Anatomy season 85 on the list if you wanted to. But yeah.
No.
All right. So we got some people that said, Pratty said Ozark all the way.
All
Big
right.
Ozark fan. 4K Corner said, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that you're talking about, 4K. Favorite season so far, Wendy's arc might level with Walter White if the writing remains the way it has been so far.
Yeah,
Yeah, the only thing
maybe.
I'm disappointed about is the fact that we're only getting one more season of that show.
Oh,
It's going
that's
to wrap up
sad.
after season 4, so hopefully they go out with a bang. Tiger King had perfect timing. Start of the stay at home. Yeah, that's what I'll
Yep.
always remember it for. It's going to be
Yep.
nostalgia.
Perfect.
It's
Oh,
nostalgic
for
just for
sure.
that. And it did feel like an event. It felt like a Game of Thrones level event. The way everybody was talking about it. It was hilarious. Also, Pratty said, sorry, Michelle. Whiplash is a great film. Glad that Ozark is your number 1, though.
All right. All right.
Yeah, she knows. Better Call Saul is pretty great, too. I
We
highly
quit.
recommend it.
We quit watching that.
Yeah, so I started watching season 4 again because you weren't interested in watching it, and they're already finished with season 5. I think they're getting ready to do season 6. I think that's the last season, too.
I
That's a
don't
show
know.
that I
It was
like
just
a lot, and I need to get
boring
back.
for me.
Yeah, you weren't into it. We watched like one episode of 4th season, and you're like, I'm not into this anymore. And I'm like, okay, I'll
I
start
mean,
watching by myself. And then I never did.
I like him. I forget his name. I like him, but the story was just kind of boring. It felt like it was just nothing happening from episode to episode. I don't know.
Yeah, it was definitely less exciting than Breaking Bad, but there were some really good moments in it, though. That I will say. 4K Corner said, I know it's not 2020, but I've still never seen the show 24. It came out while I was working 2 jobs and getting 4 hours of sleep. Well, I haven't seen that show either. So you are
I don't
not
even know
alone.
what that is.
Kiefer Sutherland, 2000s. We were probably in high school when that show was.
Oh, isn't that like Oh, okay, I think I know
It's a
what
show
you're
that the
talking
entire season would take place over 24 hours. So like one episode would be 1 hour of the
about. Oh,
24
wow.
block. It would all be like one mission or something.
That's intense.
It's a really cool sounding concept that I just never got into it.
That is, yeah.
Oscar said The Mandalorian was amazing. Glad you enjoyed it, Oscar, because I know he didn't like Star Wars a lot before, and now he's a huge Star Wars fan. So
Oh, nice.
that is very cool. But yeah, guys, with that, we're going to go ahead and wrap up the stream. Did you want to run down your top 10 again before we went? Because I know we never did that. And I'll run down my top 10 before
Are we
we shut her
doing
down.
10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
Just do it 10 to 1.
All
10
right,
to 1, baby.
number 10, I had The Haunting of Bly Manor. Number 9, You Season 2. Number 8, Upload. 7, Utopia. 6, The Undoing. 5, The Servant, Season 1. 4, The Great. 3, Defending Jacob. 2, The Queen's Gambit. 1, Ozark, Season 3.
Awesome. Number 10 for me was Tiger King. Number 9 was You Season 2. Number 8 was Little Fires Everywhere. Number 7 was Upload. Number 6 was The Haunting of Bly Manor. Number 5 was Utopia. Number 4 was Defending Jacob. Number 3 was Servant Season 1. Number 2 was Ozark Season 2. And my number 1 was The Queen's Gambit. So, yeah, that does it for our top.
So, was it Ozark Season 2 or Season 3?
Did I say Season 2? It's Season
I thought
3.
you did. Okay.
Yeah.
So, just to recap, the only one that we matched up was number 9. We both said You Season 2.
Yeah, and I thought we were going to match up on the last two. You really threw a curveball at me when you put Queen's Gambit at number 2, because I thought we were kind of in line on that show. So I guess I don't know us as much as I thought I did. I think we failed the dating game here tonight.
Oh man,
but
I mean, like, how long have we been together? Like 18 years or something?
like 25, 30 years or something. It's been a
And
long time.
we can't even get some shows right. I don't. There's no hope for us.
It's crazy. I think there's hope. I think there's a little bit of hope. Don't count me out just yet.
Okay.
But all right, we are going to end this stream, everybody. I appreciate everybody joining us live. I appreciate everybody that watches this on the replay. If you're watching it on the replay, please hit that like button. Also, if you're watching it live and haven't hit that like button yet, smash that like button before we cut the stream off. Definitely would appreciate
it hard.
Also, be sure to comment down below what were some of your favorite shows of 2020. You can give me a whole top 10. You can give me a top 15, top 20. I don't care. Leave it all in the comments below. Let's talk about it. Also, if this is your first time joining us on the Mid-Level Media channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button for more great content. Turn on all bell notifications for future videos. Michelle, is there anything that you want to plug before you get out of here tonight? You have anything going on?
I've got nothing to plug, guys. He just
your Grey's Anatomy podcast or whatever.
I'm just Mid-Level's wife. And he wanted me on this show, so here I am. And that's all I got, guys.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to join me on more future streams, because this is really fun. I enjoy talking with you about TV, because to be honest with you, there's nobody else that I would rather talk TV with than the person that I sit across from the couch with every single night and watch it with. So with that, guys, we're going to get out of here. As for me, I've got a Collateral 4K review coming later this week. I've got my Scream Factory unboxing that's going to hit tomorrow. I've got another thrifting vlog that's going to happen this Saturday, and I'm going to be back next Sunday for Ken's movie experience. So be sure to join me there, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe, turn on those bell notifications, and we'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.